Hi students, I am M. Rajeshwari, lecturer in botany. Today topic is edific factors. Edific factor, the science which deals with the study of soil called soil science or pedagogy or edapology. The soil can be defined as the weathered surface of earth crust which is mixed with organic material and in which plants grow. Soil formation. Soil formation. The soil formation rocks are three kinds. These are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. What is igneous rocks? These are formed by cooling and solidification of molten magma or lava. Sedimentary rocks means these are formed by deposition of weathered material which are divided from igneous rocks. Next one, metamorphic rocks. These are formed from pre-existing rocks means igneous or sedimentary rocks through heat and pressure. And next one, soil minerals are classified into two types. These are sand and silt minerals. These are quartz, micas, pyroxenes, calciate, iron oxide, clay minerals, kaolin, mantimorionate. Process of soil formation. The process which are involved in the formation of mature soil can be studied under the soil forming rocks, physical weathering and chemical weathering. Physical weathering means mechanical forces acting upon the rocks cause the physical weathering. The various physical weathering process include action of water, temperature, gravity, wind, etc. This cause the breaking of rocks through such process as wetting, drying, heating, cooling, freezing, and sandblast. Next one, chemical weathering. The principal process involved in chemical weathering are solution, hydration, hydrolysis, carbonation, oxidation, reduction. Presence of moisture and air is very essential in chemical weathering. This is also known as chemical decomposition. The first one, solution. The first one, solution. Solvent action of water helps in the weathering of rocks. It dissolves soluble minerals of rocks, making the rocks proves and hence liable to further disintegration. Next one, hydration. In this process, water molecule become chemically attached to particular rock material. It provides bridge or entry for hydronium ions to attack the structure. Next one, hydrolysis. It is the most important process of chemical weathering. During hydrolysis, the hydronium ions means water molecules attack the weatherable minerals and alter them completely. Next one, carbonation. Next one, carbonation. It occurs stimulatively along with hydrolysis. In this process, the hydroxides produced during hydrolysis react with dissolved carbon dioxide to from corresponding carbonates which may leach out leach out according to drainage and weather condition. Next one, oxidation. It means addition of oxygen to mineral compounds. The reaction process oxides which dissolved in water to from soluble hydroxides. Reduction. It means remove of oxygen from minerals. It takes place in deep zones where oxygen is not available. Next one, biological weathering. Biological weathering. First one, physical weathering. Second one, chemical weathering. And third one, biological weathering. And chemical weathering classified into solution, hydration, hydrolysis, carbonation, oxidation, and last one, reduction. And biological weathering. What is biological weathering? Lichens, microorganisms, uh, and the root of higher plants help weathering process. Lichens retain water for sufficient time to cause hydrolysis and carbonation. Carbonation of rocks. Next one, soil profile. In vertical section of soil, we can see a number of layers superimposed one above and the other. All of them are collectively called soil profile. In typical soil profile, the following layers can be organized. First one is horizon A, horizon B, and horizon D. Horizon A, it is the superficial layer of the vegetation, and next to the horizon A is subsoil designated as horizon B. Horizon C, it is present incompletely, whether large masses of rocks. Last one, horizon D, it is the lowest region of soil profile composed of unweathered parent material. Physical properties of soil. The physical properties of soil can be discussed under the following heads. First one, soil structure. Natural soils are composed of soil particles of varying size. The soil particles are also called as soil separates or soil fractions. According to their size, soil particles are grouped into different types. First one is silt soil, clay soil, fine soil. Next one, soil structure. Next one, soil structure. Sand, sand, silt, and clay are found in found in aggregated from arrangement of these soil particles on certain defined uh, patterns is called soil structure. The natural natural soil particles are called pets. This this soil structure is described under the following three categories. First one type, another one size of pets, and last one grade. In this type is indicates the shapes and arrangement or pets. Pets may be various shapes such as granular, crumb, angular, blocky, subangular, blocky. Next, size of beds. Each primary structure type of soil is differentiated into various types: very fine or very thin, very fine or thin, medium, thick, very thick. These are the classes. First one is very thin, second one thin, third one medium, fourth one thick, fifth one very thick. Next, grade. This grade indicates the degree of distances of pets. It is distributed under the four categories. First one structureless, next structural, next weak, and moderate and strong. Pets are not distinct. Structural, in structural means soil have noticeable pets. Three structural grades are used. Weak structural have pets distinctive and rarely durable, and pets moderately well developed, fairly durable and distinct. Strong means pets well developed, quite durable and distinct. Next, density and soil weight. Density of soil is the mass per volume unit volume. It is expressed in terms of gram per centimeter or pound per cubic foot. And next one, forestry soil. This space occupied by air and water between the soil particles in a given volume of soil called pore space. The percentage of soil volume occupied by pore spaces is called as porosity of soil. Next one, permeability of soil. Permeability of soil. The characteristics of soil that determines the movement of water through pore spaces is referred to as soil permeability. Soil color. Soil exhibit a variety of color. Soil color may be inherited from the, the parent material. Sometimes it may be due to soil forming process The variation in soil color are due to organic substance, iron compounds, silica, and other inorganic compounds. Next one, soil temperature. Soil temperature. Soil temperature is one of the most important soil properties that affect crop growth. The major source of heat is sun, and the heat generated by the chemical and biological activity of the soil is usually negligible. Next one, soil water. Soil water, and chief source of soil water is rainfall. The water is required to meeting the metabolic and transformational need of the plants. It is also the medium through which mineral nutrients enter the plants. Soil water is derived from rain. All the rainwater falling on a soil, it is not retained by it. Sometimes of it is lost as runway water and gravitational water. The rest of the water is retained in the soil in various forms. First one, gravity water, and next one, hygroscopic water, and capillary water, and last one, combined water. Capillary water is used for plants. Remaining water is not used to plants. Next one, soil soil solution. The organic and inorganic nutrients occur in the form of solution in the soil. This solution contains almost all the essential minerals and is the primary source of inorganic nutrient for, for plant roots. Complex mixture of minerals as carbonates, sulfate, nitrates, chlorides, and organic salts of calcium, magnesium, nitrogen, potassium, etc. Next one, soil, air, and soil quotient. What is soil air? Soil air is a process of structure, and about 25% of the total volume of the soil is filled with air. Soil aeration is essential for the proper functioning of the roots of the plant. The absorption rate is rapid in well-aerated soils, and can and the rates get reduced in the oxygen deficient soils. Soil is generally richer in CO2 as compared to the atmospheric air. Next one, soil quotient. Next one, soil quotient. Soil plasticity is a property that enables the moist soil to change when some force is applied over it and to retain this shape even after the removal of the force from it. Next, chemical properties of water. The chemical properties of sorry, chemical properties of soil. The chemical properties of soils can be described under the following heads. First one, inorganic matter of soil, soil organic matter, colloidal properties of soil particles, and last one, soil reactions. The first one, inorganic matter of soil. Every soil has various types of minerals and chemical compounds. The quality of these depends upon the nature of the rocks from which it is formed. Compounds of aluminum, silicon, calcium, magnesium, iron, potassium, and sodium are usually present in the soil. Cobalt, boron, iodine, zinc, barium, cadmium, cadmium and lithium are, are found in trace. Soil organic matter. Next one, soil organic matter. Organic matter is the chief source of minerals rich on the soil. It is found in the form of colloidal substance that enhance the soil fertility. It has also a much water holding capacity. Colloidal but colloidal properties of soil. Colloids are very small particles. As they are very small, their surface properties are relatively more important than their mass. Colloidal substance float in the solvent in suspension state but do not tend to settle at the bottom. Colloid are not found in ionic or molecular form but are found in aggregates of atoms or molecules. In three soil are soil are two types of colloids. They are mineral colloids or clay colloids, and another one is organic or humus colloids. So finally, soil are two types of colloids. First one, or they are mineral colloids or clay colloids, and another one organic or humus colloids. What is clay colloids? The mineral clay colloids are plate like in structure and plate-like uh, structure. The clay particles are formed mainly of silica, alumina, iron, and cadmium. Organic colloids are humus colloids. Organic colloids in the soil are chiefly due to the process of humus. The humus contains 8% each of lignin, protein, sugar, and uronic complex. Organic colloids may be present in the appreciable proportion in the soil. Next one, is soil reaction. Soil reaction. The term pH soil reaction means pH. The term pH from the French word. Soil reaction is the indication of the acidity or alkalinity of the soil and measured in the pH value. The scale ranges from 0 to 14 with pH 7 as the neutral point. At the pH 7, hydrogen ion condition H plus equals the hydroxyl ions concentration from pH 7 to 0. The soil is increasingly more acidic from pH 7 to 14. The soil is increasingly more alkaline. Ecological adaptation of plants. The water is the most important ecological factor in the life of any organism. All of the physiological process take place in the medium of water. It is a universal solvent and nutrient. This the water helps in the absorption of nutrients. As a raw material in photosynthesis, water itself is needed in the manufacture of carbohydrates. It is essential for maintaining turgidity, without which cell can be not function properly. Protoplasm, the very basis of life is made up mostly of water. Water, in combination with other factors, regulates the structure and arrangement of plant communities. Next, effects of rainfall on vegetation. The amount of rainfall greatly influences the vegetation as well as animal population of the particular region. Rainfall distribution in different seasons of the year also may be important in regional distribution of vegetation. Broadly speaking, the three distinct kinds of vegetation are present: forest, grassland, and deserts. Or these are developed as a result and rainfall in the warm tropics. Heavy rainfall is distributed throughout the whole year. This resulted in the formation of evergreen forest. Heavy rainfall, but confined to few months in a year, result deciduous forest. Next one, soil moisture. Soil water is the chief source of water for terrestrial plants. The equality and availability of soil water is a great determining factor of the nature and composition of vegetation that a soil can be offered. Ecological classification. Depending upon the on their water requires more specially more especially upon the quality or quantity of water available in their habitats. The plants are divided into three ecological communities. They are hydrophytes, xerophytes, and last one mesophytes. What is hydrophytes? Plants adapted to aquatic environment are called hydrophytes. What is xerophytes? Xerophytic means plants adapted to grow a dry land where water content is low are called xerophyte. Mesophytes. Plants adapted to grow on land and moderate the supply of water are called mesophytes. Next one, hydrates. Next one, hydrophytes. Sorry, hydrophytes. Hydrophytes is a Greek word. Hydro means water. Phyton means plants. So hydrophytes are the plants which grow in the aquatic habitats. Water is available to these plants throughout the year. The water the water may be fresh water, saline or saline. The common freshwater bodies are lakes, ponds, pools, springs, rivers, canals, etc. Classification of hydrophytes. Classification of hydrophytes. According to their relation to water and air, the hydrophytes are grouped into four different categories. First one, free floating hydrophytes and rooted by hydrophytes and submerged hydrophytes or submerged floating hydrophytes, submerged rooted hydrophytes, rooted emergent hydrophytes. The first one, this is a azolla. This is a fern plant. So this plant indicate the free floating hydrophytes. These plants float freely on the surface of water but are not rooted in the mud. These plants grow in a large number of ponds in pools. Leaves in some forms are very minute in Wolffia. Next one, this is also lemna. This is also called as free floating hydrophytes. Salvinia. This is also free floating hydrophytes. Sclerodella. This is also free floating hydrophytes. Next one, rooted hydrophytes with the floating leaves. These submerged aquatic plants are rooted in the muddy substrate of ponds, rivers, and lakes, but their leaves and flowers shoots are float on the water surface due to the presence of along the petiole or elongated petiole on pedicles. They normally grow in shallow regions. Examples of water lily, lotus, etc. So Trapha also rooted hydrophytes with floating leaves. Next one, submerged floating hydrophytes. These plants grow below the water surface and have no no contact with air. They are raised directly shallow in region where the plant can get adequate supply of light. In this submerged floating hydrophytes, examples are Hydrilla, Alternaria, etc. This is the internal structure of Hydrilla. Next one, submerged root hydrophytes. These plants also grow entirely underwater. Such plants are enclosed the bottom of the ponds or lakes and other water resources. Next one, rooted emergent hydrophytes. These plants are amphibious and are live adapted to live both the aquatic and terrestrial habitats. That's why these plants are called amphibious plants. Example, Sagittaria. Next one, xerophytic. Xerophytic plants. Next one, xerophytic plants. In these xerophytic plants which grow in dry habitats and or xeroic condition are called xerophytes. Place where the available water is not present in adequate quantity are termed as a xerophytic habitats. Xerophytic habitat may be different types. These are physically dry, first one. Second one, physiologically dry. Third one, physically and physiologically dry. And non succulent plants. Casuarina is a non succulent plant. Next one, ecological adaptation of ecological adaptation or ecological adaptation is different types. The morphological adaptation and physiological adaptation also occur in all hydrophytic plants, and also anatomical features also modified or adopted in other nature. Next one, rhizophora. Rhizophora. This is the rhizophora plant. This rhizophora plant is very important plant. This plant is very special. These plant especially grow in merged plant. Especially merged plant. Rhizophora is very short term plant. These are also called as halophytes. Halophytes are special type of xerophilous plant which inhabit saline soil. The soil contain higher concentration of salt like NaCl, magnesium, calcium, MgSO4, magnesium sulfate. The presence of excess salts in the water, it it, it refers with the absorption of water by those plants. These plants ecological adaptation is external features are a great majority Halophytes in the tropical and subtropical regions are shrubs. In addition to the normal root and a number of stilt root or prop roots developed from aerial branches of the stem. They are used for efficient and coarse muddy stem and they have they stem have many halophytes development succulents. The succulents caused due to accumulation of excess amount of nitrogen salts. Leaves are evergreen, small, thick and uh, thick and minimize loss of water in the transpiration process. Some species are fillers. And fruits and seeds are generally light in weight. They are they are depressed to determine the places by water or wind. Mangrove vegetation growing in marshes exhibit the phenomena of vivipary. It is the germination of seed while the fruit are still attached to mother plant. This is the vivipary germination. So this vivipary germination is occur in mangrove plants. Lecture 4 will be continued. Thank you.